Well, the LA Times put out an article here. It's a column. And it said white supremacy come in all colors. 2023 make this impossible to ignore. And they first start off talking about Ye, Nick Fuentes, Herschel Walker, Kyrie Irving, and Enrique Tarrio. Now, the LA Times is basically saying that 3 black men are white supremacists. How are 3 black men white supremacists? White supremacists believe that their white race is superior. And they attack people on this. They have a whole system built on this. Last time I checked, Ye wasn't a white person. Herschel Walker isn't a white person. And Kyrie Irving isn't a white person. These are 3 different people, 3 different mindsets, 3 different entities. Now, they included Nick Fuentes. Yes, he is a white supremacist. And he's an anti-Semite. Enrique Tarrio with the Proud Boys, he is a white supremacist. He leads a white supremacist group. Even though Enrique Tarrio almost dark as me, he's a Cuban immigrant. Those 2 are correct to put in there, right? No, they're not. Well, I'm saying Nick Fuentes is definitely white skinned. That's for sure. But Enrique Tarrio isn't. But he leads a whole group. And he's not identifying as a black man. He won't identify as white. Now, they say in this article, it was written by Erica D. Smith from the New York Times. So Erica D. Smith, a black woman. And they say in Anita Chabria, which is a woman. I don't know what she is, but they wrote this article. Now, this is my thing. I would never thought in my life I would see black men being called white supremacists. But let's continue. They said that if 2020 was the year that George Floyd murder made us confront systemic racism, 2021 is the year that made us face right-wing terrorism, that in 2022 is the year that blew up our collective assumptions about what extremism looks like in the United States. Some hate's coming in all colors. It's a columnist, Erica D. Smith, Anita Chabria, look back and look ahead of the new year, talking about as anti-Semitic rhetoric and hate crimes continue to change our understanding, and say, of the way political turmoil and crosses demographic lines. Well, didn't we just do a previous podcast, and we talked about the hate crime numbers, and I still got it up on my screen actually. Black people suffer 2,233 hate crimes. Anti-Jewish, 324. Okay. Now, the way they were screaming, you would think that they were leading in hate crimes, and they were not whatsoever. See, we are people that would look at numbers. We would look at data here. You can't just put it in a book and hide it from a Negro. Not me. We're going to find it. Now, in this particular exchange here, Chabria said, Erica, you and I have been talking a while about how people of color find their way into conspiratorial far-right movements. And last year, you wrote about Larry Elder being the black face of white supremacy. So they've been doing this. Now, Larry Elder is a whole lot of things, but Larry Elder is not no black face of white supremacy. He is not. I mean, anybody that's actually participating in white supremacy is a face of it. So that can be black, they can be Asian, they could be white, they can be Arab, that can be anybody. If you're participating in their system and upholding white supremacy, I mean, you could be considered a face of it. But the way they put it is like, oh, Larry Elder. Oh, I do not agree with Larry Elder on a whole lot of things, right? And some things, every blue moon, because, a broken clock is right twice a day. I may agree with him every once in a while, but it's not too often. So the woman's Erica Smith said it was depressing about Larry Elder, but not surprising. Talking about she interviewed several black Republicans in California. Many of them projected that Elder's high-profile candidacy would encourage other conservatives of color to run for office. The only question was whether those conservatives would be moderate or would they emulate Elder. They talking about Larry Elder. So of course, Larry Elder lost the election. They started talking about Kanye here. And they was talking about Kanye It said you have to ask him loaded questions about his mental health and exploitation, but the reasons they said matter less than the result of his far-reaching influence, which emboldened others. In case in point of the white supremacists that put out the banner on the 405 freeway. Okay, so now what they're trying to do is say that Kanye West is responsible for what these white supremacists are doing. I didn't know they needed Kanye West's permission. Last time I checked, they've been doing quite well on their white supremacist hatred for a long time. And then they bring up, of course, Enrique Tarrio in this. Of course, we know he's the, leader of the Proud Boys. They brought up Nick Fuentes here. But what they're trying to say here is that somehow, even Kyrie Irving, he's a face, a black face of white supremacy. Now, what did Kyrie Irving do to be labeled that? Y'all lucky I'm not Kyrie Irving. I'm telling y'all, Kyrie Irving is better than me, because I'm telling you, if y'all would have been putting these kind of articles out about me, lying on me, calling me anti-Semite, calling me all these names, I ought to call my attorney immediately. I say, you know what? I need you to find every article they're saying I'm an anti-Semite. I need you to find every article where they're saying I'm a white supremacist, and I need you to sue they behind. Sue them to submission. I need a bag, and I need them to take that down and print up an apology saying that I'm not that, because they have no proof of any of that. See, black folks got to stop taking stuff. Ain't no way I'm going to have hundreds of millions of dollars and I put up with any of you. I'm not doing it. I promise you I'm not doing it. What's the point of having money if you're not going to defend yourself? Herschel Walker. If you disagree with Herschel Walker's politics, okay, fine. You don't have to like Herschel Walker's politics or anything else in life. But to say that Herschel Walker is a white supremacist, really, LA Times, really? You actually printed that? I mean, let's call it what it is. Herschel Walker just did good running for office. He surprised me in the debate. He really did, okay? And yet y'all sitting up here. See, this is what it is. If you aren't a hardcore Democrat, and if you're not pushing Democrat talking points, then obviously you are a white supremacist all of a sudden. Obviously, you're some far right-wing extremist. You ain't done anything. The crazy part for me with all of this is that this is like the Twilight Zone, y'all. How they're trying to label black people being white supremacists. That's the most crazy. You know these people are losing. You know they're losing, and they're losing it. Because nobody in their right mind would even fall for this crap. The fact is, your reign is coming to an end. That's all it is to it. Your reign coming to an end. Every day, every year that passed by, you keep, because in your number, 2040 is your year. They fear 2040, but 2040 is not going to be their year. It's going to be sooner than 2040, much sooner. Because I don't know what's going to happen. I can't say what, because I don't know. But something's going to happen to speed up that time to somewhere in the 2030s. Could be the early 2030s. But something's going to happen within this dispensation of time. I don't know what. And they think they got to 2040. No, you don't have the 2040. And there's nothing you can do, because your time is over, and the time of black people is time for them to rise globally. Not just black people in America, but globally, because you've done black people wrong globally. And as you notice how things are turning around and how everything now is the black beauty standard, not the white one. If you pay attention to that. You need more melanin to survive now. That sun getting hotter and hotter. You see what the weather patterns are doing. You can sit up there and try to call us white supremacists and everything else, but that's not going to save you. That's not going to save you. And as you get toward the end of your rule, everything that you feared may just come upon you. Some of you even think that I don't want to pay no reparations. Oh no, you're going to pay it. Listen, I know you're going to pay reparations. I'm not worried about it. You're going to pay it. You're going to pay it because you're going to feel that that's the only way you can get out of the judgment that's coming to you. So you're going to pay it. I know you. You gonna try to say, oh, it's because we don't want to lose the black vote or X one. No. You're gonna pay reparations. But calling black men white supremacists, that's the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, a complete joke. And for the LA Times to print this, I hope all three of them men sue you. I hope they sue you and they get a bag. I hope they do. Because if I was in the three of those men, I would sue your silly behind. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. That way you know we post another podcast. Click the like button. It's very important. We'll see you on the next one.